Good morning, everybody. I'm not really sure what I'm going to say in this, but I feel like I want to document it, even if I just put it in my drafts, so that I can remember what I was being shown and what came as a revelation, I guess, last night. So something has happened to some people that we know recently, and it is quite upsetting what's happened. I'll leave it there. But last night, as I was going to sleep, and this is something that happens quite often, but it was like I was getting some insight into it. So during the night last night, I was not asleep, I was not awake. I guess I was in this kind of in-between state, which is often where things happen, or I feel spirit talking or showing me or taking me places. And I was suddenly called by an individual asking me for their help. This does happen, and I found myself having a conversation with this individual and instinctively handing them a candle from behind me. And they were in a very dark place, and I handed it to them and I said, hold on to this, just do not let that light go out. And I knew it wasn't a literal candle, it was some form of representation of not allowing the darkness of what they're facing at this moment to consume them, to hold on to a sense of hope and comfort. And then I was calling in these angels to this individual. Then I travelled to a family member of this individual, and I could feel in my body the pain. I could feel the immense sadness, and it hurt. It physically hurt. And I then handed that individual a candle, and I said, do not let this light go out, and I will send in the angels. And I sent in these angels to bring comfort and peace. And I, as a waking day person, like a normal human being in a normal life, I have no idea how this situation will unfold. I don't know what that hope could look like. I don't know the solution. But in spirit, I travelled to these individuals. This is something that happens to me quite regularly now. I don't want to name names, but I have travelled when people have asked me to pray for people in dire situations. My spirit travels to that person on the other side of the world and will sit by their bedside and will speak to them as if I'm having a normal conversation, and I will hear their thoughts. I will know exactly how they're feeling. I will know where the pain is in their body. I will know what worries are in their mind, and I will have a conversation with them. And the only way I know that it's not fake is that I get confirmation of that. When I speak to that person online, then maybe I send them a text, or they will confirm, yes, that's what I was thinking, or that is what I'm feeling. Recently that's happened. Again, I don't want to name names, but somebody I didn't know, I was asked to pray for them, and I travelled to them whilst they were in a coma, and I spent a good week with this person in spirit, having conversations. I could see what they looked like. I'd never seen their face. I knew how they sounded. I knew what they were worried about. They spoke to me about the fear of what life would look like once they woke up from the coma. And I was just able to say, no, it's going to be like this and this. And then other things transpired in their life later. And anyway, I just can travel and know things about people, know how they're feeling. Like, location doesn't matter when you're in spirit. And I was questioning last night, what is this? And then I realized that we are souls. We are souls, we are spirit. We are not just human. And it seems like woo-woo and craziness to someone that is very unaware, perhaps, or hasn't experienced that. It can seem like foolishness. But what I was being shown is that we are like a soup of consciousness. We are one. And we choose to come into these bodies and solely focus on how it feels to be an individual that has choices and that has experiences. However, there are moments where because we are one, we can choose to, I say choose because I haven't consciously, in my opinion, chosen to do this, but it happens. Sometimes I can tap into the energy of the collective, of the whole world, or a city, or another individual, or I can be in a realm where I'm feeling how it feels to be in different dimensions, all kinds of things. And then Spirit reminded me of this vision that I had quite some time ago now, where I was in Egypt and I was with these women, and we'd gone to bathe in these white sort of night dresses. We'd gone to wash our faces and our hands and bathe, just wash our faces in the River Nile. And in this vision, the women were just washing their faces, and something in me was like, I need to get in the river. Like, I need to be fully submerged in this river. And so I got in this River Nile. And as soon as I went under the water, I became the water. And I don't know how to explain what that felt like, only that I was suddenly conscious of everything within the water. I could tell where fish were coming from behind me. I could tell where a leaf was floating downstream on its way towards me, and when it passed me, I could feel the consciousness of that leaf. It sounds like, like like I'm off my face, but no, this is not that. These are spiritual encounters that really are quite profound, and they change the way that I live my day to day. And I was in this water, and I could feel every rock. I could feel the fish. I could feel the gentle movement of like the sea, it's not the sea, like the river plants, how they swayed. And I lost all sense of feeling of where I didn't have a body. I just became this one with the water. And I could hear it and I could feel it. And then I suddenly became really claustrophobic. I was like, I want my body back. I want to be back in me, because now I'm conscious of everything around me. I can feel it all. And then as soon as I asked to come back into my body, I suddenly was back in my body with just my own thoughts, my own feelings. And then I was just in the water. I wasn't the water anymore. I was in the water. And it brings me to the expression, you are in the world, but not of the world. And sometimes when we're out of these bodies, we become one with everything. We know things. We are just one with the universe. We are one with mankind. We are one with the angels, all the kingdoms of heaven, the kingdoms of earth, the animal. Sometimes I will tune into animals. Sometimes I know how they're feeling, or animals will speak to me in a telepathic way. It all sounds crazy, but what Spirit was saying to me last night is, this is the beginning awareness. We have these gifts. It's our natural state. But on earth, it's unnatural. It feels unnatural. But the more that we operate like that, the more we can help each other, the more we can remind each other where we're from, the more we can realize that we have the capacity to live much more exuberant and abundant lives when we're here to help each other and to light candles of hope and to care for one another. When other people hurt, I hurt too. And then there's moments where I travel to some people that have really, really tried to hurt us or hurt me, and I met with them, and they were on such this low negative space. Their eyes were black, and I was trying to find an element of that spiritual awareness, of any shred of love or kind, and it wasn't there. And that's what I mean. Some people are so turned off, so blind, that they have no memory or recollection of who they truly are. And I just wanted to say that, I think just to document it, that we are one, and we are capable of helping each other in ways that perhaps we're not aware of. One kind act at a time. Love you today.